Kate Morrison walked slowly into the huge council chamber. Her heart was beating fast, but she kept her face calm. The room was bigger than a football stadium. Tall alien creatures sat in curved rows that went up to the ceiling. Each species looked different and scary in their own way. The air smelled strange, like metal and something she could not name. Lights from different colors shone down from above. Kate's black shoes made small, clicking sounds on the smooth floor as she walked to the center of the room. She had been Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council for 3 years. Kate had seen many strange things in that time, but today felt different. Today felt dangerous. The Vorthic Prime Minister stood up from his tall chair. He was twice as tall as Kate and looked like a giant lizard. His scales changed colors like a mood ring. Right now they were dark red, which Kate knew meant anger. "Human Ambassador Morrison," the Prime Minister said. His voice sounded like rocks, grinding together. "You will listen to what the Council has decided." Kate nodded. "I am here to listen, Prime Minister." Other alien voices started talking at the same time. The Zephyrians made sounds like wind chimes. They looked like living crystals that caught and threw light around the room. The Nebulans were harder to see because they were made of gas and kept changing shape like clouds. The Prime Minister raised one clawed hand. Everyone became quiet. "The human species has grown too fast," he said. "You have spread to too many worlds. You build too many ships. You ask too many questions. The Council has voted. Humanity must be stopped before you become a threat." Kate felt cold fear in her stomach, but she did not show it. "What does the Council want from humanity?" The Prime Minister's scales turned darker red. "You have 30 Earth days to give us what we demand. You will give us 40% of your military ships. You will give us 70% of your factories and mining operations. You will stop building new colonies." Kate stared at him. "You want us to destroy our own defenses and give up most of our industry?" "Yes," said the Prime Minister. "If you do not agree, the Council will cut off all trade with humanity. No alien species will buy from you or sell to you. We will also send our combined fleets to force you to obey." Around the chamber, other aliens nodded and made sounds of agreement. Kate looked from one species to another. She had thought some of them were friends to humanity. She was wrong. The Trilorian ambassador spoke up. He looked like a tall blue octopus with 4 arms. "Humans breed too fast and spread too quickly. You are like a disease that grows without control." A Carvani delegate added her voice. She was covered in gray fur and had large black eyes. "Your species fights too much. You have wars on your own planet. How can we trust you not to fight us?" Kate's hands made fists, but she kept them at her sides. "Humanity has never attacked another species. We have never broken our trade agreements. We have followed all Council laws." "That is not the point," the Prime Minister said. "You are too dangerous to be allowed to grow. Look at your history. You fight each other constantly. You destroy your own environment. You create weapons that can kill millions. Now you want to bring this violence to the galaxy." "We have learned from our mistakes," Kate said. "Humans are not the same as we were centuries ago." The Prime Minister laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "You had a global war less than 100 years ago. You still have weapons that can destroy your entire planet. You cannot change what you are." Kate felt anger rising in her chest. These aliens thought they knew everything about humans. They thought humans were just violent animals that needed to be controlled. "The Council has ruled," said the Vorthic Prime Minister. "You have 30 days. Give us what we demand or face the consequences. And if we refuse?" Kate asked the Prime Ministers. Scales turned almost black. "Then we will take what we want by force. Every human colony will be occupied. Every human ship will be destroyed or captured. Your species will be reduced to one planet under Council control. Other aliens in the chamber made sounds of approval. Kate realized that this had been planned for a long time. They had been waiting for an excuse to attack humanity. I need to contact my government, Kate said. Of course, the Prime Minister said. But remember, human, we are not asking for these things. We are telling you what will happen. The Council controls over 1,000 species. We have ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. Your species has been in space for less than 200 years. You are children playing with toys. You do not understand. Kate turned and walked out of the chamber. Her mind was racing. She had to get word back to Earth immediately. The clicking of her shoes echoed in the huge room behind her dot as soon as she reached her ship. Kate activated the quantum communication system. The blue light of the hologram flickered, and then Admiral Jake Carter appeared. He was sitting in a room with white walls that Kate recognized as the Pentagon Crisis Center. Admiral Carter, Kate said. We have a problem. A big problem. Jake's face was serious. What happened, Kate? The Council just delivered an ultimatum. They want us to give up 40% of our fleet and 70% of our industrial capacity. We have 30 days to comply, or they will attack us. Jake was quiet for a moment. Behind him, Kate could see other people moving around quickly. Are they serious? Completely serious. The Vorthic Prime Minister made it clear this was not a negotiation. They see humanity as a threat that needs to be controlled. What's there? Justification? Kate sat down heavily in her chair. They say we grow too fast and are too violent. They think we will eventually attack other species, so they want to stop us now. How many species voted for this? All of them, as far as I could tell. The major powers were definitely in agreement. Jake, they are not afraid of us. They are. Just tired of us. They want to put us back in our place. Jake's jaw tightened. Kate, get back to Earth as fast as possible. We need to discuss this in person. Already on my way. Jake, they have thousands of ships. We have maybe 200. And 50. Numbers are not everything, Kate. Come home. We have some things to show you. A transmission ended. Kate started her ship's engines and set course for Earth. As she flew away from the Council station, she wondered what Jake meant. What could humanity possibly have that would make a difference against the entire Galactic Council? She would find out soon enough. But right now, all she could think about was the contempt in the Prime Minister's voice when he called humans children playing with toys. That had made her angrier than anything else. Maybe it was time to show the galaxy what these children could really do. Kate's ship landed at the military base outside Washington 3 days later. As she walked down the ramp, Admiral Jake Carter was waiting for her. His face looked tired but determined. Behind him stood General Lisa Brooks and 2 other officers. Kate did not recognize. Kate, we need to talk immediately, Jake said. There are things you need to see. They climbed into a black vehicle that drove them through several security checkpoints. Kate noticed they were going deeper underground than she had ever been before. The elevator went down for almost 2 minutes. Jake, where are we going? Kate asked. To a place that officially does not exist, Jake replied. Kate, how much do you know about human military projects from the last 20 years? I know about our shipbuilding programs and the colony defense systems. Why? Lisa Brooks spoke up. Because we have been preparing for this day since we first met the Council. We knew this would happen eventually. The elevator stopped. The doors opened to reveal a massive underground facility. Kate's mouth fell open. The space was huge, with metal walkways crossing above machines she had never seen before. Hundreds of people in uniforms were working at computers and control panels. Welcome to Project Blackout, Jake said. This is where we have been really working for the past 15 years. A man in a white coat walked up to them. He was about 50 years old with gray hair and kind eyes behind thick glasses. "Kate, meet Dr. Marcus Thompson," Jake said. "He runs our Advanced Research Division." Marcus shook Kate's hand. "Ambassador Morrison, I have been waiting to meet you. Your reports from the Council have been very helpful to our work." "What kind of work?" Kate asked. Doc Marcus smiled. "Come with me. I will show you." They walked through the facility. Kate saw things that looked impossible. Workers were building ships that seemed to bend light around them. Other machines looked like they were half there and half not there. "The Council thinks they know our technology," Marcus said. "They have seen our basic ships and weapons, but they have never seen our real technology." "What do you mean?" Kate asked. "The Council species have not changed their technology in thousands of years," Marcus explained. "They use the same energy weapons, the same faster-than-light drives, the same communication systems their ancestors used. They think technology has limits." Lisa Brooks pointed to a wall covered with screens. Each screen showed different star systems. "But humans do not think like that. We always look for new ways to do things. While the Council was staying the same, we were learning and growing." Kate stared at the screens. "Are those our colonies?" "Some of them," Jake said. "Kate, the Council thinks humanity controls 12 star systems." "They are wrong." "How wrong?" Kate asked. Marcus laughed. "We actually control 43 star systems. The Council has never found most of our colonies because we hide them using technology they do not understand." Jake led them to another section of the facility. Here, Kate saw rows of small ships that looked like they were made of black glass. They were beautiful, but also scary. "These are shadow fighters," Jake explained. "They use dimensional fold technology. They can exist slightly outside normal space, which makes them invisible to Council sensors." "Invisible?" Kate asked. "Completely invisible," Marcus said. "We can park one of these ships right next to a Council vessel, and they will never know." "It is there." Lisa Brooks walked over to a control panel. "We have been building these for 8 years. The Council thinks we have about 200 military ships. They are correct about our visible fleet, but we also have over 3,000 shadow fighters." Kate felt dizzy. 3,000? How did you build so many without anyone knowing? "We built them in places the Council has never looked," Jake said. "Kate, what do you know about the asteroid belt around our sun?" "It is just rocks and mining stations," Kate said. Marcus grinned. "That is what we wanted everyone to think. Actually, we have been hollowing out asteroids and building secret shipyards inside them for 20 years. The Council scans for metal signatures and energy sources. Asteroids already have both, so our hidden bases look exactly like natural rocks." They walked to another area where Kate saw the strangest thing yet. It looked like a wall of water standing upright, but the water was silver and moved in patterns that hurt to look at. "This is a quantum disruption field," Marcus said. "It can break the quantum connections that hold Council technology together. Their ships, their weapons, their communication systems all depend on quantum entanglement. If we disrupt those connections, their technology stops working." Kate stared at the silver water. "You can turn off their technology?" "All of it," Marcus said. "Their ships will lose power. Their weapons will not fire. They will not be able to talk to each other or call for help." Admiral Carter's communication device beeped. He listened to it and then looked at the others. "The President wants to see us in the Situation Room," he said. "Kate, you need to brief her on what happened at the Council." They took another elevator to a different level. President Michelle Davis was waiting for them in a room with a large table and many screens on the walls. She was a tall woman with short brown hair and eyes that missed nothing. Ambassador Morrison, the president said, tell me exactly what happened. Kate explained the council's ultimatum. When she finished, the president was quiet for a long moment. So, they want us to cut our own throats and hand them the knife, the president said. That is exactly what they want, Kate replied. President Davis looked at Admiral Carter. Jake, are our preparations complete? Yes, Madam President. We can implement Operation Lighthouse whenever you give the order. What is Operation Lighthouse? Kate asked. Lisa Brooks answered. It is our response plan for exactly this situation. We knew the council would eventually try to control us. We have been ready for them. The president stood up and walked to one of the screens. It showed a map of the galaxy with human colonies marked in blue and council worlds marked in red. The council thinks they are dealing with a young species that will be frightened by their threats, the president said. They are about to learn something important about humans. What is that? Kate asked. President Davis turned around. Her face was hard as stone. That we do not negotiate with bullies. Kate, send a message to the council. Tell them we have received their ultimatum, and we are considering our response. What should I tell them our response will be? Kate asked. Tell them they will find out in 30 days, the president said. Jake, activate all our hidden assets. I want every shadow fighter ready for deployment. Every secret base on full alert. Yes, Madam President, Jake said. Marcus Thompson spoke. Madam President, should we activate the Dimensional Fold Network? Everything, Marcus. It is time to show the galaxy who they are really dealing with. Kate felt excitement and fear at the same time. Are we really going to fight the entire Galactic Council? President Davis smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Kate, the Council made a mistake. They think humans are just another species they can push around. They are about to discover that humans do not push easily. And if we lose? Kate asked. We will not lose, the president said. The council has been comfortable for too long. They have forgotten that the most dangerous species in the galaxy is the one that has nothing left to lose. Jake's communication. Device beeped again. He listened and then looked surprised. Madam President, our listening posts are reporting unusual council fleet movements. It looks like they are gathering ships from multiple systems. How many ships? The president asked. At least 400, possibly more. President Davis nodded. They are not waiting 30 days. They plan to attack us before we can prepare. Should we contact them? Kate asked. No, the president said. Let them come. They want to see what humanity is capable of. We will show them. The room was quiet for a moment. Then the president looked at everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the council has just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. They are about to attack a species that spent its entire evolution learning how to survive against impossible odds. Kate realized that everything was about to change. The council thought they were hunting sheep. They were about to discover they had cornered wolves. Admiral Threx stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the empty space where Earth's solar system lay ahead. His scales were bright yellow, the color of confidence and victory. Behind him, the largest fleet in Galactic Council history spread out like a metal ocean. Report, Threx ordered his tactical officer. 412 ships in formation, Admiral, the officer replied. 2 dreadnoughts, 30 battleships, 100 cruisers, and the rest are support vessels. Threx's scales darkened to orange with satisfaction. More than enough to crush these upstart humans. Where are their ships? We detect no human vessels in the outer system, sir. Perhaps they have fled to their inner planets. Cowards, Threx hissed. Begin the advance. All ships maintain formation. The massive council fleet moved forward into the solar system. Threx had commanded fleets for 60 years. He had conquered 12 different species for the council. Humans would be no different. What Threx did not know was that 3,000 human shadow fighters surrounded his fleet. They existed in dimensional fold space, invisible to all Council sensors. Each small ship carried enough firepower to destroy a cruiser. Commander Ryan Clark sat in the command chair of one shadow fighter. Through his quantum link display, he could see the entire Council fleet. His hands were steady on the controls, but his heart was beating fast. All shadow units, this is Shadow Leader. Ryan spoke into his microphone. Enemy fleet is in formation. Begin Phase 1 on my mark. Hidden in an asteroid belt, Admiral Kevin Hunt watched from the bridge of the USS Defiance. His ship and 50. Others were parked inside hollowed-out asteroids, waiting for the right moment. Sir, the Council fleet is advancing past the outer marker, reported Captain Susan Lee from her position at the sensor station. Good, Kevin said. Let them get comfortable. Ryan, you may begin. Ryan activated his communication system. All shadow units, execute Phase 1. Jam their quantum networks now. 3,000 shadow fighters simultaneously activated their quantum disruption fields. The effect was immediate and devastating. On Threx's flagship, every screen suddenly went black. The quantum communication system that connected all Council ships simply stopped working. Navigation computers crashed. Weapon targeting systems failed. What is happening? Threx roared, his scales turning red with anger and fear. I do not know, sir, his tactical officer replied, panic in his voice. All our quantum systems are offline. We cannot communicate with the other ships. Impossible, Threx said. Nothing can disrupt quantum entanglement. But something had. Dr. Marcus Thompson's quantum disruption technology was doing exactly what it was designed to do. The Council's advanced technology was turning into useless metal. On other Council ships, the same thing was happening. Captains, who had never experienced system failures, were watching their ships become deaf and blind. Some tried to use backup systems, but those were also quantum-based and equally useless. Sir, Ryan's tactical officer said, all Council ships are dead in space. Their engines are still working, but they cannot coordinate or communicate. Perfect, Ryan said. Begin Phase 2. 3,000 shadow fighters suddenly appeared around. The Council fleet. One moment there was empty space. The next moment the aliens were surrounded by ships they had never seen before. On Threx's bridge, alarms finally started working as backup systems detected the human ships. Admiral, the sensor officer called out, we are surrounded. Unknown vessels on all sides. Threx stared at his blaze. The human ships looked like black glass and seemed to bend light around them. They moved in perfect coordination, despite the fact that quantum communication was impossible. How are they coordinating without quantum links? Threx asked. His science officer checked his instruments. Sir, they appear to be using some form of dimensional communication we cannot detect. Or jam. For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Threx felt fear. Then Phase 3 began. From the asteroid belt, Admiral Kevin Hunt's fleet emerged. 50 massive human ships that had been hidden inside rocks suddenly appeared. But these were not the simple vessels the Council had seen before. These ships were twice the size of anything humans had built publicly, and their weapons were unlike anything in Council databases. This is Admiral Kevin Hunt of the Terran Defense Force. Kevin broadcast on all frequencies. Admiral Threx, you are surrounded and your ships are disabled. Surrender immediately. Threx's communication officer managed to establish a voice link using primitive radio. This is impossible, Threx said. Your species does not have this technology. You are correct, Kevin replied. We do not have your technology. We have something better. We have human creativity. On his flagship, Threx looked at his tactical displays. The humans had somehow surrounded 400 Council ships with less than 100 vessels. His fleet was 3 times larger, but his ships could not coordinate, could not communicate, and could not target effectively. "How did you develop dimensional fold technology?" Threx asked. "It should be impossible for a species as young as yours." Admiral Hunt's voice came back calm and confident. "While you were staying the same for thousands of years, we were learning and growing. You made the mistake of thinking we would always be weak." Threx's scales turned pale white, the color of shock and disbelief. "You have been hiding your true capabilities for 20 years, Kevin confirmed. "We knew this day would come. We knew the Council would eventually try to control us, so we prepared." On Earth, President Davis watched the confrontation from the Pentagon Situation Room. Admiral Carter stood beside her, along with Kate Morrison and Dr. Thompson. "The Council fleet is completely disabled," Carter reported. "Admiral Hunt has tactical superiority." President Davis nodded. "Open a channel to the Council home worlds." Kate worked at the communication console. "Channel open, Madam President." "This is President Davis of the United Nations of Earth," she broadcast. "Your fleet came to our system to attack us. Your ships are now disabled and surrounded. We offer the following terms. On the Council homeworlds, emergency sessions were being called. For the first time in 10,000 years, a Council military operation had failed completely. First, President Davis continued, your fleet will withdraw immediately. Second, the ultimatum against humanity is canceled. Third, humanity will be granted full membership in the Galactic Council with equal voting rights. In the Vorthic capital, the Prime Minister's scales had turned completely white. How did they do this? How did a young species defeat our greatest? Fleet? His military advisor checked the latest reports. Sir, they have technology we have never seen. They can disrupt quantum fields, hide in dimensional space, and coordinate their ships through methods we do not understand. Back in the solar system, Admiral Threx was facing the worst moment of his career. His massive fleet was helpless, surrounded by humans who had revealed capabilities that should not exist. Admiral Hunt, Threx said, what are your terms for our withdrawal? Simple, Kevin replied. You leave our system immediately. You return to the Council and tell them exactly what happened here. You inform them that humanity is not interested in being bullied. And if the Council refuses these terms? Threx asked. Admiral Hunt's voice became cold as space. Admiral, you are looking at less than 1% of our actual military capability. We have ships you cannot see, weapons you cannot understand, and technology you cannot counter. If the Council wants a war, we will give them one. But I guarantee you will not like the outcome. Threx was quiet for a long moment. His military career had taught him to recognize when he was beaten. Today, he was completely beaten. We will withdraw, Threx said finally. Excellent choice, Kevin replied. Have a safe trip home, Admiral. And remember to tell the Council what you learned today. As the Council fleet began its retreat, the shadow fighters remained invisible but close, escorting them out of the solar system. The message was clear. Humanity was watching, and humanity was ready. On Earth, President Davis turned to her advisors. Gentlemen, ladies, I believe we have just changed galactic history. Kate Morrison smiled. The Council wanted to see what humans were capable of. I think they got their answer. The Galactic Council emergency session was chaos. In the Great Chamber, where Kate Morrison had received the ultimatum just weeks before, alien representatives shouted and argued in dozens of different languages. A calm order that had ruled for thousands of years was gone. The Vorthic Prime Minister sat slumped in his chair, his scales a dull gray color of defeat. Around him, other species demanded answers. How had a young species like humanity defeated the greatest fleet in galactic history? Order, the Prime Minister called weakly. We must have order. The Zephyrian delegate's crystal body was flashing angry red lights. How did you not know about their technology? Your intelligence services assured us humans were primitive. The nebular representative, a cloud of angry purple gas, swirled faster. 400 ships defeated by less than 100. This is impossible. A new voice spoke from the entrance to the chamber. Kate Morrison walked in, but she was not alone. Behind her came Admiral Kevin Hunt, still wearing his military uniform. Behind him walked Dr. Marcus Thompson and 5 other humans. The Council will recognize Ambassador Morrison of the Terran Federation, the Prime Minister said quietly. Kate walked to the center of the chamber, just as she had weeks before. But everything was different now. The aliens who had looked down on her with contempt now watched her with fear and respect. Honored representatives, Kate began. I bring greetings from President Davis and the people of Earth. We are here to discuss the future of Human Council relations. The Trilorian ambassador, the blue octopus creature, spoke first. Your species deceived us. You hid your true military power. Kate smiled. We did not deceive anyone. We simply chose not to show you everything we were capable of. Just as I am sure every species here has secrets they do not share. Admiral Hunt stepped forward. The Council made a critical error. You assumed that because humanity is young, we must also be weak. You forgot that young species often grow the fastest. Dr. Thompson activated a small device he carried. Holographic. Displays appeared in the air above the chamber floor. The aliens gasped as they saw images of human technology they had never imagined. These are dimensional fold drives, Marcus explained. They allow our ships to exist in multiple dimensions at once. Your sensors cannot detect them because they are not entirely in your dimension. Another hologram appeared. This is quantum disruption technology. It can break the quantum connections that your technology depends on. We can turn off your ships, your weapons, your communication systems. The Corvani delegate, the gray-furred creature, spoke up nervously. How long have you had these capabilities? 20 years for the basic technology, Marcus replied. But we have been improving it constantly. What you saw in our solar system was just the beginning. Kate activated her own device. New holograms showed star maps that made the aliens gasp. The Council believes humanity controls 12 star systems. We actually control 67 systems. We have been expanding and growing while you thought we were staying in one small area. The Prime Minister's scales turned white. 67 systems? Our scouts have not found them. Because we did not want you to find them, Admiral Hunt said. We built our colonies in places you would never look, using technology you could not detect. A small alien that looked like a walking flower raised its voice. What do you want from us? What are your demands? President Davis's image appeared as a hologram above Kate's device. The president looked calm, but determined. The United Nations of Earth has simple requirements, President Davis said. First, humanity will be granted full membership in the Galactic Council with equal voting rights. No more ultimatums. No more threats. The aliens murmured among themselves. Equal membership meant humans would have the same power as species that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. Second, President Davis continued, all trade restrictions against humanity are permanently removed. We will trade freely with any species that wants to trade with us. Third, the Council will recognize human territorial claims to all systems we currently occupy. Our colonies will not be subject to Council interference. The Prime Minister stood up slowly. And if we refuse these terms? Admiral Hunt answered. Then you will discover what happens when you threaten a species that refuses to surrender. Prime Minister, you sent 400 ships to intimidate us. We disabled them without destroying a single vessel. We showed mercy. But mercy has limits. Kate added, "The next time the Council threatens humanity, we will not be so gentle." Dr. Thompson activated another hologram. This one showed the human fleet in its entirety. The aliens stared in shock at thousands of ships they had never known. Existed. "This is our actual military strength," Marcus said. "What you fought in our solar system was less than 10% of our capabilities." The chamber became very quiet. Every alien representative was looking at the display of human ships. They outnumbered the entire Council fleet by 3-1. New voice spoke from high in the chamber. It belonged to the Elder Sage, an ancient being who rarely spoke but commanded great respect. "How did your species develop so quickly?" The Elder Sage asked. "Other young species take thousands of years to reach such levels." Kate looked up at the ancient being. "Because we had to." "Honored Elder, humanity spent its entire evolution fighting for survival. We learned to adapt, to innovate, to overcome any challenge. When we reached the stars, we did not stop learning." "Other species reach a comfortable level and stay there," Admiral Hunt added. "Humans are never comfortable. We always prepare for the next challenge." President Davis's hologram spoke again. "The Council made the mistake of judging us by your own standards. You stopped growing thousands of years ago. We never stopped growing." The Prime Minister looked around the chamber at his fellow representatives. Their expressions told him everything he needed to know. The old order was finished. "The Council accepts your terms," he said quietly. Kate nodded. "Excellent. We look forward to working with you as equal partners." But President Davis was not finished. "There is one more thing. From now on, if any species threatens another species with military force, humanity will intervene. The age of strong species bullying weak ones is over." The aliens looked shocked. Humanity was claiming the right to police the galaxy. "You cannot enforce peace throughout the galaxy," the Trelorian ambassador protested. Admiral Hunt smiled. "Watch us," Dr. Thompson added. "We have technology you are only beginning to understand. We can be anywhere in the galaxy in days. We can disable any fleet. We can protect any species that asks for our help." Kate stepped forward one final time. "For 10,000 years, the Council has maintained order through fear and force. Humanity offers a different way. We will maintain peace through strength and justice." The session ended with the most historic vote in galactic history. Humanity was admitted to the Council as an equal member. Trade restrictions were lifted. Human territorial claims were recognized. But more importantly, the galaxy had changed forever. A new power had emerged, one that would not tolerate bullying or oppression. As the human delegation prepared to leave, the Elder Sage approached Kate privately. "Your species frightens many of us," the ancient being said. "We do not want to frighten anyone," Kate replied. "We want to protect everyone." "And that is exactly why you frighten us," the Elder Sage said. "You are the first species in 10,000 years that has both the power and the will to change everything." Kate smiled. "Change is not always bad, honored Elder. Sometimes the galaxy needs to grow." On the journey back to Earth, Admiral Hunt sat with Kate on the observation deck of their ship. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Kate asked. "We showed them that humans do not back down from bullies," Kevin replied. "We showed them that threatening us has consequences. Most importantly, we showed them that humanity will not be controlled." Kate looked out at the stars. "The galaxy will never be the same." "Good," Kevin said. "It was time for a change. The Council ruled through fear for too long. Now they will have to learn to rule through cooperation." Behind them, Dr. Thompson was already working on his next project. Humanity had surprised the galaxy once. He was making sure they would be ready to surprise them again if necessary. The age of human equality in the galaxy had begun.